When the midnight bell tolls, the horror short film begins. Hello everyone. I am Movie Briefs. Trembling in fear, better to let Movie Briefs keep you company. Today, I bring you a Taiwanese folk horror series, The Rope Curse 2018. In the Changhua region of Taiwan, there is a custom known as sending the meat rice. Dumpling, the so-called meat rice dumpling, is a slang term for those who have died by hanging. It is said that the resentment of those who hang themselves is deep. They must be sent away through a special ritual to prevent their malevolent energy from remaining in the living world and becoming evil spirits. Seeking a substitute, the movie begins with a sending the rope ritual. The deceased is a young girl. On the night of her wedding, she died by hanging in a bizarre manner. Although her mouth kept screaming no, her head involuntarily moved into the noose. Jia Wei and his best friend, Guai, specialize in filming exotic folklore videos. They participated in this sending the meat rice dumpling ritual to record the entire process and broadcast it live. The ritual requires a priest to dress as Chung Kui for the escort, sealing the hanging rope and the tree trunk with talismans and escorting them all the way to the estuary. However, an accident soon occurs on the way. The sealed items inexplicably fall. When they are picked up again, the hanging rope is accidentally left behind. Soon, the escort team arrives at the seaside. The female lead, Shui, is Jia Wei's girlfriend. She came to the scene to deliver a fill light and witness this ritual with her own eyes. However, strangely enough, when the ceremony ended and the items were thrown into the sea, Shui actually heard a voice calling out, coming from the seaside. She walked over out of curiosity. A moment later, a terrifying image flashed through her mind. For the sake of the upcoming recording quality, Jia Wei spent a fortune to hire a beautiful streamer to save money. Guai arranged for the streamer to stay at his uncle's oyster shack, but on Guai's way back, he encountered something eerie. Before he could react, he tripped over something on the ground. Guai picked it up out of curiosity and discovered it was the very rope used by the Bai to SPM. Deceased, Guai was terrified, but he summoned his courage to go to the seaside and threw the hanging rope back into the sea. He thought this would fix everything. Little did he know, the girl live streaming at that moment was encountering something horrific. First, a crying sound came from the bathroom, followed by red liquid seeping from the door crack. Scared? She immediately packed her things, wanting to leave the place as soon as possible. But as soon as she reached the door, she was thrown back by an invisible force. Immediately after, a steel wire tightly strangled her neck. Before dying, she vaguely saw a terrifying figure appear in the mirror. Soon, the girl was hanged from the ceiling fan. Meanwhile, Jia Wei was still sharing the joy of viral views with his girlfriend, but sharp-eyed netizens spotted a ghost in the video. This instantly made Shui feel dizzy. So, under her boyfriend's care, Shui slowly fell asleep. However, she soon fell into a dreamscape. In the dream, she appeared at the seaside, not far away. A girl had her back to her, crying incessantly. Shui kept wandering in this dream. Time quickly moved to the second day. The streamer's body was discovered by the uncle who arrived. Guai also received the news immediately. When he and Jia Wei arrived, the shack was already surrounded by police. Later, a terrified Guai told Jia Wei what happened last night, but Jia Wei didn't take it seriously at all. He proudly said, "Yesterday's footage went viral. If they continued to film last night's accident, they would definitely make a fortune." At first, Guai resisted strongly, but for the huge reward, he eventually chose to compromise. That evening, they both arrived at the agreed-upon location. After entering the room, Jia Wei couldn't wait to start filming. He soon discovered that the fan where the girl hanged herself had been taped with talismans, and there were still some strands of hair remaining. To get a close-up shot, the bold Jia Wei actually plucked a small tuft of it.
有了，这个应该就是往生者的头发。
Suddenly, a noise startled him. It sounded like something fell under the bed. Jia Wei followed the sound to investigate and found a photograph under the bed. Taking it out to look, it was a group photo of 3 girls. Meanwhile, on Aguai's side, he was using the bathroom, but an unknown liquid dripped onto his head, shining his light on it. He realized it was blood. He looked up in terror and saw a large clump of hair hanging above him. Such a horrifying scene scared him so much that he ran out of the bathroom, without even pulling up his pants. The noise from the 2 attracted the patrolling police. Fortunately, they reacted quickly and managed to escape by luck. Back at home, Jia Wei took out the photo. Shu Yi was surprised to discover that she knew all 3 girls in the photo. One was Xiao Ting, who hanged herself on her wedding day. Another was Yi Yi, the female streamer who died last night. The last one was named Qian He. They were not only Shu Yi's high school classmates, but also the school bully trio back then, who often bullied other female students. And Shu Yi's best friend, Xiaoyan, was the main target of their bullying. Later, unable to bear their torment, she finally chose to hang herself in the gymnasium. In that case, the deaths of the first 2 must be Xiaoyan's ghost seeking revenge. To figure out the truth, Jia Wei wanted to find the last person, but Shu Yi didn't want to bring up the past at all and went straight to her room to rest. Late at night, Jia Wei was organizing footage at his computer. Suddenly, Shu Yi's screams came from the room. She was plagued by nightmares again. When Jia Wei arrived, he saw her convulsing all over, and inexplicable red marks appeared on her neck. Aguai also rushed over upon hearing the noise. Seeing the situation, he instantly recognized that Shu Yi was possessed. They then took her to his uncle's Taoist temple. He was the priest who played Cheng Kui earlier. The uncle held the Heavenly Lord token and silently chanted spells. After his operation, the red marks on Shu Yi's face quickly faded, and her mind returned to normal. However, the priest said this was only temporary. The red marks on her face were caused by malevolent energy buried in her body for years. To truly break the curse, they must find the root cause of the incident. What exactly caused Shu Yi to be entangled by this energy for so many years? To investigate the truth, Jia Wei asked around for Qianhei's address, but he found out that they had already moved away. For a while, no one knew where they had gone. That day, a woman came to the uncle's temple. After begging for many safety talismans, she left in a hurry. She bumped into Aguai, who had just arrived. He immediately recognized her as Qianhei from the photo. Aguai followed her without a word. He trailed her all the way to her home, successfully found her address, and sent it to Jia Wei. Upon returning home, Qianhei immediately pasted the talismans on the wall. Looking at these dense clusters of talismans, it seemed her life had been difficult these past few years. Not only did she move frequently, but her mother also unfortunately became paralyzed. She could only rely on a small laundry shop to sustain her family. At night, Qianhe was still busy working. Little did she know, in the corner, that terrifying face had already appeared. Shen Qianhe. Soon, a noise came from her mother's room. Qianhe went upstairs carefully to check. But just as she opened the curtain, her paralyzed mother rushed over and strangled her tightly. In a life-or-death moment, Qianhe grabbed a nearby wooden stick to fight back. When Jia Wei and the others arrived, they saw Qianhe's mother lying in a pool of blood. Qianhe was already scared out of her wits. As events unfolded, Xiaoyan's resentment grew heavier. To find a way to break the curse as soon as possible, the priest, led by school officials, came to the gymnasium where Xiaoyan hanged herself. Back then, sure enough, he quickly discovered a clue. A fragment of the rope used for the hanging still remained on the crossbeam. Obviously, the person who handled it before was too careless. Over the years, the malevolent energy accumulated deeper and deeper. After convincing the school, the priest decided to set up an altar and perform a ritual. That night, however, before the priest could act, Xiaoyan found Qianhe again. When Qianhe opened her eyes, she found the vengeful spirit right in front of her. Screaming, she tried to escape, but was pulled back by Xiaoyan. In the end, she received the retribution for the mistakes she had committed. Ever since Xiaoyan died, Shu Yi had actually been feeling very guilty, and guilt is definitely based on regrettable things done in the past. Jia Wei had actually sensed this long ago, but he didn't want to bring up his girlfriend's sensitive issues until he accidentally found Xu Yi's diary in the basement. Only then did he learn the truth of the matter. Back then, Xiaoyan had a crush on a certain senior. She gathered her courage to record a confession video, hoping Xu Yi would help deliver it to him. But when Xu Yi learned the person was Jia Wei, her heart began to waver, because Jia Wei was also her crush. After hesitating again and again, she hid the disc. Later, Xiaoyan received a rejection letter. She was heartbroken. Actually, this letter was forged by Xu Yi to make Xiaoyan give up completely. She even secretly gave the letter to Qian He and the others. They humiliated Xiaoyan in front of the whole class, causing her to lose all dignity. Later, Xiaoyan also discovered that Xu Yi and Jia Wei had gotten together, and their relationship was very intimate. Faced with her best friend's betrayal and long-term school bullying, Xiaoyan was completely crushed. She finally hanged herself in the school gymnasium. Knowing the whole truth, Jia Wei felt extremely regretful. At the same time, a crying sound came from beside him. Following the sound, he saw Xu Yi crying in a corner nearby. Seeing this situation, Jia Wei panicked completely. He tried hard to stabilize the possessed Xu Yi, but she soon fainted. By this time, the priest had already set up the altar. Jia Wei brought Xu Yi just in time. Next, they would invite Xiaoyan. To resolve this grudge, the ritual proceeded intensely. Suddenly, a gust of cold wind struck, accompanied by the sound of weeping. Xu Yi stood up, looking disoriented. In the next second, Xiaoyan, filled with resentment, possessed Xu Yi's body. She said nothing, just crying incessantly. That powerful resentment in her heart seemed to silently recount the unfairness of fate. Then, it transformed into a powerful rage and attacked the priest. An invisible force strangled him. With all his might, he threw out the rope Xiaoyan used to hang herself, telling Aguai to burn it immediately. But Xiaoyan wouldn't give Aguai a chance. Soon, Aguai was also hoisted high up and thrown out ruthlessly. In the next second, Xiaoyan turned her gaze to Xu Yi. She strangled Xu Yi tightly, venting the hatred in her heart. In the nick of time, Jia Wei grabbed the rope and threw it into the fire without hesitation. As the hanging rope burned, Xiaoyan was also gradually consumed by the fire. Xu Yi's sincere repentance made Xiaoyan recall their past. The beautiful times appeared vividly before her eyes. Finally, Xiaoyan slowly loosened her hands. The resentment in her heart was finally resolved. As the rope burned completely to ashes, Xiaoyan vanished from this world. Thus, the movie ends. This is Movie Brief's commentary. See you next time.